Welcome to Sleepy English. Research shows that reviewing information right before sleep helps the brain consolidate it into long-term memory. During the day, our minds are full of distractions, but just before bed, the brain can focus on what you just learned and strengthen it overnight. So, tonight, let's gently practice English with two simple dialogues.
Running into each other again. Olivia. Hey, Daniel, right? From the language course last month. Daniel. Oh, Olivia, yes, I remember you. We were in the same speaking group. Exactly, I wasn't sure if it was you at first. Same here, I almost didn't say hello because I thought I might be wrong. I'm glad you did. How have you been? Pretty good, just busy with work lately. What about you? Busy too. I started a new job 2 weeks ago, so my schedule changed a lot. That sounds exciting. What kind of job is it? I work at a small travel agency now. I help customers plan trips and answer emails. That fits you. I remember you liked talking about traveling in class. Yes, I still do. Now I talk about travel all day, even when I'm tired. That's actually a nice problem to have. Are you still attending English classes? Not at the moment. I stopped after the course ended. I wanted a short break. I understand. After the final week, my brain felt completely full. Same, but I noticed my English becomes worse when I don't practice. I feel that too. That's why I try to speak whenever I get the chance. Do you remember the group presentation we did? Yes, I was so nervous that day. My hands were shaking. Honestly, I couldn't notice. You looked confident. Really, I was just trying not to forget my sentences. I forgot one of mine and started improvising. I remember that. You handled it well though. Inside, I was panicking. They start walking slowly together down the street. Do you live around here? Yes, I moved to this neighborhood recently. It's quieter than my old area. I come here often because my office is nearby. There's a nice cafe at the corner. I think I know the one with the big windows. Yes, that's it. I sometimes sit there after work to relax. Maybe I should try it. I usually go straight home and feel tired for no reason. Changing small habits can help with that. How was your new job so far? Better than I expected. The first days were stressful because I had to learn many systems. Learning new software always takes time. Yes, and I was afraid of making mistakes in front of customers. Did that happen? Of course. On my second day, I sent an email with the wrong date. That sounds stressful. It was, but my manager said mistakes are normal at the beginning. That helped me relax. Good managers make a huge difference. What about your work? Are you still at the design company? Yes, but my role changed recently. Now I work more with clients. Do you enjoy that? I do, but speaking English with international clients still makes me nervous. Really? Your English was already good in class. Classroom English feels easier than real conversations. That's true. Real conversations move faster. Sometimes clients speak very quickly, and I need a few seconds to understand. I experience the same thing on phone calls. I learned to ask people to repeat politely. That's a useful skill. I'm still learning how to interrupt naturally. Me too, it feels rude sometimes, even when it isn't. They stop at a crosswalk and wait for the lights. Do you still study English at home? Yes, but differently now. I watch interviews and try to repeat sentences aloud. That sounds effective. It helps with pronunciation and confidence. What about you? I listen to podcasts while cooking dinner. Even when I don't understand everything, I continue listening. That's a good strategy. Understanding gradually feels less frustrating. Do you ever feel stuck in learning? Sometimes I reach moments where I feel no progress for weeks. Exactly, then suddenly something becomes easy. Language learning is strange like that. They continue walking toward the cafe. Do you have time for coffee? I was going there anyway. Sure, I don't have plans right now. Great, it will feel like a small reunion from class. Yes, but without homework. They enter the cafe and sit near the window. Waiter. What can I get for you? A cappuccino, please. Americano for me, please. Coming right up. This place is nice, calm but not silent. That's why I like it. After work, silence feels heavy sometimes. I understand. Background noise can feel comforting. Do you still talk to anyone from our class? Not really. We said we would stay in touch, but everyone became busy. That happens often after courses end. It's a bit sad though. We shared many experiences together. Yes, learning together creates a special connection. Maybe we should practice speaking sometimes. I was thinking the same thing. Casual conversations help more than formal exercises. And less pressure too. The drinks arrive. Here you go. Thank you. Thanks. I feel more relaxed already. Today was long at work. Mondays always feel longer than other days. True, I kept checking the clock after lunch. What do you usually do to relax after work? I walk or read. Recently, I started journaling in English. That's a great idea. Writing helps organize thoughts. Yes, and I noticed my vocabulary growing slowly. I want to become more consistent with practice. Maybe we can meet once a week and talk only in English. That sounds helpful and realistic. Not like homework, just conversation. Exactly. Outside, it begins to rain lightly. Look, it's raining again. Perfect weather for staying inside longer. I don't mind. This conversation reminds me of our class days. Me too, but now we feel less nervous speaking. That means we improved. Yes, even if progress felt slow. I'm glad we met again today. For this, we barely talked in class. True, we always sat in different groups. Sometimes you need a second meeting to really talk. I agree. So next week, same cafe? Yes, let's do that. Good. We'll call it our unofficial English practice. Deal. I should go soon before the rain gets stronger. Same here. I have an early meeting tomorrow. It was really nice catching up, Daniel. You too, Olivia. I'm glad we finally had a proper conversation. See you next week then. See you next week. An unexpected conversation after class. Nathan. Hey, Claire, right? From the evening writing workshop. Claire. Oh, hi Nathan. Yes, that's me. I didn't expect to see anyone from class here. Same, I almost walked past you, but then I recognized your notebook. The blue one? I bring it everywhere now. The teacher said writing daily helps. I remember that advice. I tried it for a few days, then I forgot. At least you started. That's already better than doing nothing. True. How have you been since the course ended? Pretty good. Just busy with work. I missed the class though. It gave structure to my week. I feel the same. Tuesdays feel strangely empty now. Yes, it was nice having a reason to leave the house in the evening. Are you still writing in English? I try to, mostly short journal entries about my day, nothing very exciting. Everyday topics are actually the hardest to write about. Exactly, it's easier to describe big ideas than simple daily moments. That's true. I notice I don't know basic vocabulary when I try to describe normal routines. Same problem here. They walk slowly toward the bus stop together. Do you work nearby? Yes, I work in an office building 2 streets from here. What about you? I work remotely, so I usually stay home all day. Today I came out just to change my routine. That sounds healthy. Staying inside too much affects your mood. Definitely, after several days at home, I start feeling disconnected. That's one reason I joined the writing workshop. I wanted to meet people, not only improve English. Me too, but I was too shy to talk much during class. Really? I thought you were just quiet because you were focused. Honestly, I was always thinking about grammar mistakes before speaking. I understand that feeling perfectly. Do you remember the group discussion about travel stories? Yes, when everyone had to speak for 2 minutes without notes. That exercise terrified me. Me too. My mind went completely blank at first. But after a few sentences, it became easier. That moment taught me confidence grows while speaking, not before. I wish we had more sessions like that. Maybe we can create our own practice somehow. That's not a bad idea. They reach the bus stop and sit on a bench. Are you waiting for the number 12 bus? Yes, it usually arrives around this time. Good, then we're going the same direction. What kind of writing do you enjoy most? Personal stories. I like describing small moments and emotions. That sounds difficult but meaningful. What about you? I enjoy writing opinions, but organizing my ideas in English takes time. Writing forces you to think clearly. That's why it's challenging. Have you noticed improvements since the course? Yes, especially in confidence. I don't stop writing when I don't know a word anymore. What do you do instead? I describe the idea differently using simpler words. That's actually a smart strategy. Are you still reading English articles like you mentioned in class? Yes, every morning with coffee. At first it was slow, but now I read faster. That's encouraging. I want to build a morning routine too. Small habits make a big difference over time. A bus passes, but it isn't theirs. Not our best yet. That gives us more time to talk. Do you enjoy living in this neighborhood? Yes, it's calm but still close to the city center. I moved here recently, so I'm still discovering places. There's a bookstore nearby that you might like. It has a quiet reading corner. That sounds perfect for writing practice. Do you ever feel stuck creatively? Often. Some days I sit with my notebook and write nothing. What helps when that happens? I write about why I can't write. Somehow that works. That's surprisingly logical. Creativity sometimes needs passions more than inspiration. I like that idea. What do you usually do after work? I cook dinner, then write for 20 minutes before sleeping. That sounds like a peaceful routine. It helps me separate work life from personal time. I struggle with that because my workspace is at home. Maybe creating a small ritual could help, like walking outside after work. That's a good suggestion, a clear ending to the day. The bus finally appears in the distance. That should be ours. Yes, finally. They get on the bus and find seats. I'm glad we run into each other today. Me too. We barely talked during the course, but this feels easier now. Maybe because there's no teacher listening. Less pressure definitely helps. Do you plan to join another course soon? I'm thinking about an advanced conversation class next month. That sounds interesting. I was considering the same thing but wasn't sure. Maybe joining together would make it less intimidating. That would actually motivate me. Learning feels easier when you recognize at least one person in the room. Absolutely. The city lights pass outside the window. Even simple conversations like this feel like practice. Yes, and more natural than classroom exercises. I notice I hesitate less now than before. Same here, we're improving without noticing. Funny how we hardly spoke during 8 weeks of class, yet now we talk easily. Timing matters. Sometimes people connect later. This is my stop next. Mine is 2 stops after, but it was nice sharing the ride. Definitely. Maybe we should continue these conversations sometime. I like that. Maybe at that bookstore you mentioned. Perfect plan. See you soon, Claire. See you soon, Nathan. And don't forget to write tonight. I won't. This conversation already gave me ideas. Meeting again at the bookstore. Ethan. Hey, Mia, from the Saturday conversation group. Mia. Oh, Ethan, yes, I remember you. We practiced role plays together once. Exactly, I wasn't sure if you would recognize me without the classroom. I almost didn't, but then I remembered your notebook with all the small drawings. I still carry it everywhere. It helps me remember new words. That's a good habit. How have you been since the course finished? Pretty busy. Work became intense, so I stopped practicing regularly. I understand. When life gets busy, language practice is usually the first thing to disappear. Unfortunately, yes. And now I feel a little rusty again. Same here. That's actually why I came to this bookstore today, to find something simple to read in English. Good idea! Reading helps me reconnect with the language. Do you read often in English? Not as often as I should. I start books with motivation, then stop halfway. That happens to me too. I lose focus when the vocabulary becomes difficult. I used to translate every unknown word, but it made reading slow and tiring. I recently stopped doing that. Now I guess meanings from context. Does it work? Surprisingly, yes. I understand more than I expected. They walk slowly between bookshelves. This section looks interesting. Short stories might be easier than long novels. I agree. Finishing something small feels more motivating. Exactly. Completing a story gives a sense of progress. Are you still working at the marketing company? Yes, but my responsibilities changed. Now I attend more meetings with international clients. That sounds like good practice for English. It is, but real conversations still make me nervous. I know that feeling. Classroom conversations feel safe because everyone is learning. Real life doesn't slow down for learners. True, but people are usually more passionate than we expect. What about you? Are you still studying graphic design? Yes, and I recently started freelancing. That's great. Do you work with international clients too? Sometimes. Writing emails in English takes me a long time though. Same here. I reread messages many times before sending them. Me too. I worry about sounding unclear or too formal. Finding the right tone is difficult even in your native language. They stop near a table with recommended books. This one looks interesting. Stories for everyday English. That sounds perfect for our level. I like books that focus on daily situations. They feel practical. Yes, because we actually use those expressions outside class. Do you remember how quiet we were during the first weeks of the course? Yes, everyone waited for someone else to speak first. And now we're talking easily in a bookstore. That shows progress, I guess. Definitely. Why did you join the conversation group originally? I wanted confidence more than grammar knowledge. I understood English but avoided speaking. That was my reason too. I needed practice thinking aloud. Speaking forces you to accept mistakes and realize mistakes are not disasters. Soft music plays in the background. I like the atmosphere here. It feels calm and inspiring. Bookstores always slow time somehow. Yes, people move more quietly here. Do you usually spend weekends reading? Sometimes. Other weekends I walk around the city and take photos. Photography sounds relaxing. It helps me notice details I normally ignore. I've been trying to reduce screen time lately. Too many hours online make me tired. Same. Reading physical books feels refreshing compared to scrolling. Exactly. Have you kept in touch with anyone from the group? Not really. Everyone said we should meet again, but schedules never matched. That happens often after courses end. Maybe informal meetings work better than organized ones. like randomly meeting in a bookstore. Exactly like this. They sit at a small reading table. Can I ask you something about pronunciation? Sure, I will try to help. How do you pronounce this word? Through? I always hesitate. It sounds like through. The spelling is confusing. English spelling feels like a puzzle sometimes. Yes, but repeated exposure helps. Do you still listen to podcasts like you mentioned in class? Yes, mostly during commuting. Even passive listening improves understanding. I started doing that too while cooking dinner. Multitasking practice works surprisingly well. Sometimes I feel my progress is invisible. Until you compare yourself with your past self, then you notice improvement. That's true. 6 months ago, I couldn't hold conversations this long. Same year. A staff member organizes books nearby. I think I'll buy this book. It looks manageable. I might buy the same one so we can discuss stories later. That sounds like a mini book club. Exactly, and formal learning again. Would you like to grab coffee after this? There's a cafe next door. Sure, talking more would be good practice. And less pressure than classroom activities. Definitely. They walk toward the checkout counter. Cashier. Did you find everything you were looking for? Yes, thank you. Yes, and maybe more than expected. Outside the bookstore. The weather is nice today, perfect for walking. Yes, weekends feel calmer than weekdays. I'm glad we talked today. During the course, we never had enough time to really know each other. True, group activities kept conversations short. Now it feels more natural. Maybe learning continues better outside classrooms. I think so. Real conversations make language alive. So, same bookstore next weekend? I'd like that. We can talk about the first story. Deal. It was really nice seeing you again, Ethan. You too, Mia. Funny how a simple meeting can restart motivation. Yes, now I actually want to practice again tonight. Me too. See you next weekend then. See you. Sharing a table on a busy evening. Julia. Is anyone using this chair or can I sit here? Everywhere else is full. Leon. You can take it. I was just waiting for my order. Thanks. This place is much busier than usual today. Yeah, I think there is an event nearby. People keep coming in. That explains it. I almost left because I couldn't find a seat. She puts her bag down and sits. Oh, I think we've met before. Not here, somewhere else. Wait, weren't you in the project management workshop last spring? Yes, exactly. You sat near the window during the sessions. Right, and you always arrived early, with coffee. Now I remember. Funny how we didn't really talk back then. We mostly worked in different groups. How did you find the workshop overall? Useful but exhausting. After each session, my brain felt completely full. Same, I learned a lot, but I needed a break afterward. Did you actually use any of the techniques at work? Surprisingly, yes. especially the planning method with weekly goals. I tried that too, but I stopped after a month. Why? I realized I planned perfectly but didn't leave space for unexpected tasks. That happens to me as well. Real life rarely follows schedules. A waiter brings drinks to another table. Background noise grows. Do you still work at the consulting company? Yes, but my role changed recently. Now I communicate more with clients instead of working alone. That sounds challenging. It is. Speaking clearly is harder than solving technical problems. I understand. Communication skills are underestimated. What about you? You mentioned changing jobs during the course. I finally did. I moved to a smaller company. Was it a good decision? I think so. Less stress, but more responsibility. That's an interesting combination. Yes, I feel more involved in decisions now. Do you like the team? Mostly yes. Everyone is friendly, but I'm still getting used to their working style. New environments always take time to understand. Especially office culture, every workplace has unspoken rules. Her phone lights up. She silences it. Sorry, work messages never stop. That's modern life. Even evenings don't feel completely free anymore. Exactly. That's why I came here. I wanted a small break from screens. Good choice. Cafes help me reset after long days. Do you come here often? Sometimes. I like observing people while thinking about work problems. Observing strangers is strangely relaxing. Do you still use English at work? I remember you wanted to improve it. Yes, more than before. We work with international partners now. That must be great practice. It is, but real conversations still make me nervous sometimes. Same here. Meetings move fast and there's little time to think. Exactly. In courses, you have time to prepare sentences. I noticed confidence comes after surviving awkward moments. That's true. My first online meeting was terrible. What happened? I misunderstood a question and answered something completely different. Oh no! Everyone looked confused, but then we laughed and continued. After that, I relaxed more. Sometimes mistakes help break tension. A barista calls out an order loudly. Are you working on anything interesting these days? A long project with many deadlines. It feels endless. I know that feeling when finishing one task only reveals 3 new ones. Exactly, progress becomes invisible. How do you deal with that stress? I try walking after work instead of going straight home. It clears my head. I recently started journaling in the evenings. In English or your native language? Mostly English. It helps me organize thoughts and practice vocabulary. That's actually a great idea. They both sip their drinks. It's interesting how conversations feel easier outside formal settings. Yes, during the workshop I always felt observed. Same. Now it feels more natural. Maybe learning continues better through casual conversations. Do you keep contact with anyone from the course? Not really. Everyone disappeared into their routines again. That happens often after shared experiences end. Which is a bit sad, honestly. Yes, because you spend weeks learning together. At least we accidentally fixed that today. True, random meetings sometimes work better than planned reunions.
Rain starts tapping softly against the windows.
I didn't expect rain tonight. Me neither. I didn't bring an umbrella. Same problem. Looks like we'll stay here a little longer. Not the worst situation. Definitely not. Do you ever think about taking another course? I was considering an advanced communication class. I've thought about that too, but wasn't sure if I should. Maybe continuing learning with a familiar face would help. That would make it less intimidating. Learning alone requires strong discipline, and motivation disappears faster when you're alone. Exactly. The cafe becomes quieter as some people leave. Funny how we barely spoke during months of classes. And now we've talked for almost an hour. Timing matters, I guess. Yes, sometimes people connect later. I should probably leave before the rain gets worse. Same, I still have emails waiting for me at home. It was nice finally having a real conversation. I agree. This feels like the conversation we never had during the workshop. Maybe we should continue it another day. I like that. Same place next week? Sounds good. Less crowded, hopefully. Hopefully. Take care, Leon. You too, Julia. See you next week. A small misunderstanding at work. Hannah. Do you have a minute, Eric? I wanted to ask you something about the report. Eric. Sure, I was just finishing an email. What's up? I read your comments this morning, and I wasn't completely sure what you meant in one part. Oh, about the budget section? Yes, exactly. You wrote needs clarification, but I didn't know if the numbers were wrong or if the explanation was unclear. Oh, I see the confusion. The numbers are fine. I meant the explanation could be simpler. Oh, that's a relief. I thought I made a serious mistake. No, not at all. Actually, the calculations were very accurate. Good. I spent almost 2 hours checking everything again. Sorry if my comment sounded too critical. I sometimes write short notes when I'm in a hurry. It's okay. Written feedback can be hard to interpret. True, tone disappears in messages. I almost sent you a long email asking about it, but I decided to talk in person instead. That was a good decision. Conversations solve problems faster. I'm learning that slowly. They sit at a small meeting table. So, how are you finding the project overall? You joined the team recently, right? Yes, this is only my 3rd week. I'm still trying to understand everyone's working style. That takes time. Every team has its own rhythm. I noticed that. Some people prefer quick meetings, others write very detailed messages. And I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I'm still figuring that out. Honestly, you adapted quickly. Your reports are very organized. Thanks, I was nervous starting here because everyone seemed experienced. Most people just look confident. Inside, we're all still learning. That's comforting to hear. What was your previous job like? Smaller company, fewer projects, slower pace. Here, everything moves faster. Yes, deadlines appear suddenly sometimes. Yesterday, I checked the calendar 3 times because I thought I misunderstood the timeline. That happens even after years here. Someone walks past the meeting room, closing the door softly. Can I ask something else? Of course. During meetings, people interrupt each other politely, but I never know when it's okay to speak. That's a common challenge. The trick is to start speaking slightly before the silence ends. That sounds difficult. It feels strange at first, but after a few tries, it becomes natural. I worry about interrupting someone accidentally. If it happens, just smile and let them continue. Nobody minds. I'll try that next time. You're doing presentations next week, right? Yes, and I'm already nervous about it. Why? You explained your ideas clearly in the last meeting. I prepared that explanation for hours. Speaking spontaneously is harder. Preparation helps, but authenticity matters more. Preparation helps, but authenticity matters more. Do you still feel nervous before presentations? Every time. The difference is I learn to continue speaking even when I feel nervous. That sounds like real confidence. It's more like practice than confidence. Hannah looks at her laptop. Would you mind looking at one paragraph with me? I want to make the explanation clearer, like you suggested. Sure, let's see. Here, I described the cost changes step by step, but maybe it's too detailed. The information is good, but readers might get lost. Maybe start with a short summary sentence. Like a conclusion first? Exactly. Then explain the details afterward. That makes sense. Sometimes I focus too much on accuracy and forget readability. That's normal when you care about quality. I appreciate you explaining this. I was worried you were unhappy with my work. Not at all. Actually, the team was impressed with how quickly you learned the system. Really? Nobody said that directly. People often think positive things but forget to say them aloud. That's interesting. Silence can feel negative even when it isn't. Exactly. They both laughed lightly. I'm glad I asked instead of worrying all day. Overthinking reading comments is very common. I've done it many times myself. Good to know I'm not alone. Do you usually eat lunch with the team? Not yet. I didn't want to interrupt existing groups. You should join us tomorrow. It's very informal. Are you sure? Absolutely. That's actually where most real conversations happen. That may help me feel more comfortable here. It definitely will. A notification sound comes from Eric's laptop. Looks like our meeting starts in 10 minutes. Already? Time passed quickly. Good conversations do that. Thanks again for clarifying the report comments. I feel much better now. Anytime, and feel free to ask directly whenever something isn't clear. I will. Talking is less stressful than guessing. Exactly. Communication prevents small misunderstandings from becoming big problems. I'm learning that lesson today. Okay, I'll update the summary before the meeting. Sounds good. Let me know if you want another quick review later. I will. Thanks, Eric. See you in the meeting room. See you in a few minutes. Working late at the office. Lena. I didn't expect anyone else to still be here this late. Marcus. Yeah, same here. I thought the office was empty until I heard someone in the kitchen. That was probably me making another cup of tea. I'm trying to stay awake long enough to finish this task. Long day? Very long. I underestimated how much time this project will take. I know that feeling. Deadlines always look reasonable until you actually start working. You're on the marketing team, right? We met briefly during the onboarding week. Yes, exactly. You joined the analytics department around the same time. Oh, right. We only talked for a few minutes near the coffee machine. I remember. Everything felt chaotic that week. I barely remembered anyone's name by the end of the first day. How are you settling in now? Better than before, but I still feel like I'm catching up with everyone else. That's normal. The first months are mostly about understanding how things work. I keep discovering small rules nobody explains officially. Office culture is usually learned by observation, not instructions. He closes his laptop halfway and turns his chair slightly. What are you working on tonight? A performance report for tomorrow morning's meeting. I thought it would take 2 hours, but I'm still here. Reports always grow bigger than planned. Exactly. Every time I check the data, I find something else that just. Do you enjoy this type of work? I do actually. I like solving problems and finding patterns, but I'm still learning the company's system. That part takes patience. Even after a year, I still discover shortcuts I didn't know existed. That's reassuring. I thought I was just slow. Not slow, just new. Big difference. I'll try to remember that. The office lights dim slightly as a dramatic evening mode activates. Wow, the lights just changed. That makes it feel even later. The building switches to night mode after 7. It's a reminder to go home, I guess. Unfortunately, my report didn't get the message. Do you usually stay late? Not really. I try to keep a balance, but today was unusual. Same here. I had a client presentation this afternoon and I needed time afterward to fix a few details. Presentations still make me nervous. Me too, honestly. Even after many presentations, I still feel stressed before starting. Really? You seemed very confident during onboarding. That was mostly preparation. Confidence often looks stronger from the outside. That's comforting. I thought experienced people stop feeling nervous. I think they just learn how to continue despite the nerves. She scrolls through her document. Can I ask you something, since you work with presentations often? Sure. How do you know when a report is finished? I keep editing small details endlessly. That's a common problem. At some point, improvement becomes invisible. That's exactly how I feel right now. I usually ask myself one question.
Is the message clear? If yes, I stop editing. That sounds simple but useful. I focus too much on perfection. Many analytical people do. Marketing taught me that clarity matters more than perfection. She leans back slightly, thinking. I think I needed to hear that today. Late evenings create space for honest conversations. Do you like working here overall? Yes, mostly because of the team. Projects are stressful sometimes, but people are supportive. I'm still getting to know everyone. Group conversations move fast, and I don't always know when to speak. That improves naturally. Listening first actually helps you understand dynamics. I notice people joke a lot during meetings. Humor helps reduce pressure. Don't worry if you don't understand every joke immediately. Good, because sometimes I smile a few seconds late. That happens to everyone in new environments. A cleaning staff member passes quietly outside. Seeing the cleaning team always reminds me I stayed too long. Say, it's a clear signal we should probably finish soon. Do you have any routines after work to relax? I usually go for a short walk before going home. It helps me separate work from personal time. That sounds healthy. I usually go straight home and keep thinking about unfinished tasks. A physical transition helps your brain switch modes. I might try that tomorrow. Even 10 minutes outside makes a difference. She rereads her report silently. Okay, I think I finally reached the point you described. The message is clear. Then you're done. It feels strange to stop editing. That feeling never completely disappears. Would you mind quickly reading the summary, just to check if it makes sense to someone outside my department? Sure, let me see. He reads for a moment. This is very clear. I understand the main conclusion immediately. Really? Yes, you explained complex data in simple language. That's not easy. That's a huge relief. I spent the whole afternoon worrying it wasn't good enough. Sometimes we need another perspective to see our own work objectively. She saves the file and closes her laptop. Done, finally. Congratulations, that's the best moment of a long work day. I almost didn't believe it would end. Thanks for talking with me. I was getting frustrated before you came to the kitchen. I'm glad I made that tea then. Conversations help more than silent stress. Definitely, working late feels less heavy when someone else is around. True, earlier the office felt intimidatingly quiet. They stand and gather their things. Are you heading home now? Yes, immediately before I find another detail to fix. Good strategy. I'm glad we talked more today. During onboarding, everything was too rushed to really connect. Yeah, quick introductions rarely show who people really are. Real conversations happen later, like this. Same time tomorrow, hopefully not this late. Hopefully not. One late evening per week is enough for me. They walk toward the elevator together. I feel much more relaxed now than an hour ago. That means the evening was productive in more than one way. Thanks again for the advice and the quick review. Anytime, we're teammates after all. See you tomorrow, Marcus.
See you tomorrow, Lena. Get some rest.
Running into each other at the gym again. Adrian. Are you finished these weights or are you still using them? Chloe. Oh, you can take them. I was just resting between sets anyway. Thanks. The gym is unusually crowded tonight. Yeah, I noticed. I almost left when I saw how full it was. Same here, but I already skipped yesterday, so I forced myself to stay. That sounds familiar. Motivation is easier before arriving than after. He adjusts the weights. We've met before, haven't we? Not here exactly. Maybe during the beginner training sessions last month? Yes, I think so. The Saturday morning class, right? That's it. We practiced those balance exercises together once. Oh yes, the difficult ones where everyone kept losing balance. I remember laughing because nobody could stay still for more than 5 seconds, including the instructor. Funny how we never really talked after that. Classes ended quickly each time and everyone rushed out. True, I'm Adrian, by the way. Chloe, nice to properly meet you this time. Nice to meet you too. Do you come here regularly? Do you come here regularly? I try to come 3 times a week, but work sometimes ruins my plans. Same. Some weeks I'm consistent, other weeks I disappear completely. At least we keep coming back eventually. What do you do for work? I work in software support, lots of problem solving and long hours at a computer. That explains why you're here lifting weights. Exactly, sitting all day makes my back hurt. I work in publishing, mostly editing tasks, so I also sit too much. Then we probably joined this gym for similar reasons. They move aside as someone passes. I almost quit after my first week here. Really? Why? I felt completely lost. Everyone seemed experienced, and I didn't know how to use health machines. I felt the same. I watched other people carefully before trying anything. Me too. Observation became my survival strategy. What made you continue? Small progress. One day exercises suddenly felt easier, and that motivated me. That's true. Improvement is slow but noticeable over time. He finishes his set and sits nearby. Do you prefer working out alone or in classes? Classes help me stay disciplined, but I like the freedom of individual workouts. Same. Classes give structure, but alone you can move at your own pace. Are you training for something specific? Not really, just trying to feel healthier and have more energy. Good goal. I started mainly to reduce stress. Has it helped? Surprisingly a lot. After workouts, my mind feels quieter. I noticed that too. Problems seem smaller afterward. Physical movement changes perspective somehow. Music changes to a slower track. Do you listen to the music here or bring your own? Usually my own playlist, but today I forgot my headphones. Same situation, at least the gym music isn't terrible tonight.
True, sometimes it's impossible to focus. Do you come at this time often? Not usually. I prefer mornings, but today meetings ran late. Evening workouts feel different, more crowded, but also more energetic. Yes, people seem determined after work. I almost didn't come today because I felt tired. That's always the hardest moment, deciding whether to go or stay home. And usually you never regret coming. Exactly. They walked toward the stretching area. I always forget stretching unless someone reminds me. Same, then I regret it the next day. Last week I could barely walk after skipping it. Lesson learned the hard way. Do you have routines outside the gym to stay healthy? I try walking home instead of taking the bus when the weather is good. That sounds nice. Walking helps clear thoughts after work. What about you? I started cooking more instead of ordering food. It's slower but more relaxing. Cooking can be surprisingly therapeutic. Unless you burn everything. I've done that more times than I want to admit. Good, then I'm not alone. They laughed briefly. Do you still remember the breathing exercise from class? Yes, the one we thought was unnecessary at first. Now I use it before stressful meetings. Really? It actually works. I might try that at work. Deadlines make me tense sometimes. Small techniques can change how you react to stress. They sit on a bench to rest. It's interesting, during the course we barely spoke, but now conversation feels easy. Probably because there's no pressure to perform or answer correctly. Yes, casual conversations feel more natural than structured activities. Do you plan to join another class here? I was thinking about the intermediate training sessions next month. I saw that announcement too, but wasn't sure if I was ready. Maybe joining with someone familiar would help. That would definitely make it easier. Then maybe we should sign up for the same group. That sounds like a good plan. The gym begins to empty slowly. It's getting quieter now. My favorite moment, when most people leave and everything slows down. Same, the atmosphere becomes calmer. I should probably finish soon before I lose motivation completely. Same here, one more exercise and I'm done. A few minutes later. Okay, I'm officially exhausted. That means it was a successful workout. True. I'm glad we talked today. It made the workout pass faster. Definitely, time moves differently with conversation. See you around then, maybe next week? Very likely, same evening schedule for me. Good, maybe next time we won't wait a month to talk again. Agreed. Have a good evening, Adrian. You too, Chloe. Take care. Waiting before a team meeting. Sophie. Is this seat free or is someone coming back? Daniel. It's free. Everyone else is still getting coffee, I think. Good. I didn't want to sit in the wrong place right before the meeting starts. That happens more often than people admit. I'm still learning how things work around here. so I try not to make small mistakes. You joined recently, right? Yes, about a month ago. We met briefly during orientation, but everything was so busy that day. Oh, now I remember. You joined the operations team. Exactly, and you're in product development if I'm not wrong? That's right. She opens her notebook and looks slightly nervous. Do meetings always feel this serious here? Only the Monday ones. People are still adjusting to the week. That explains the silence outside. Give it 10 minutes, someone will make a joke and everyone will relax. I hope so. I still feel a little unsure about when to speak during discussions. That's normal at the beginning. Most new people observe first. I worry about interrupting someone accidentally. The trick is to start talking when the conversation slows, not when it fully stops. That sounds like good advice, but probably difficult in practice. It becomes easier once you recognize people's speaking patterns. You sound very comfortable in meetings. Honestly, I wasn't at first. During my first months, I barely said anything. Really? Yes, I spent more time worrying about sounding wrong than actually contributing ideas. That's exactly how I feel right now. People begin entering the room slowly. I prepared notes so I wouldn't forget important points. That's smart. Preparation gives confidence. But sometimes conversations move in unexpected directions and my notes stop helping. That happens to everyone. Flexibility matters more than perfect preparation. How long have you worked here? Almost 2 years now, long enough to understand the culture, but still learning new things. What surprised you most when you started? How informal communication actually is. Emails look professional, but daily conversations are relaxed. I noticed that too. People switch between serious discussions and casual jokes quickly. It helps reduce stress during busy periods. Someone closes the meeting room door softly. Do you enjoy working on this team? Yes, mainly because people share responsibilities. No one works completely alone. That's something I appreciate already. My previous job felt very isolated. Collaboration makes difficult projects easier. I'm still trying to understand everyone's roles. That takes time. After a few projects, everything becomes clearer. I hope so. Sometimes I feel slow compared to others. You're not slow, you're new. That distinction matters. I keep reminding myself of that. Progress in a new job is often invisible at first. She looks at the presentation screen. Are you presenting today? Just a short update, nothing too complicated. I am presenting next week and I'm already nervous. What part worries you most? Answering unexpected questions. I'm afraid I won't respond clearly enough. It's okay to pause and think before answering. Silence feels longer to you than to others. That's reassuring. Also, people usually want clarity, not perfection. I tend to aim for perfection automatically. Many people do at the beginning. A colleague waves at Daniel from across the room. Do you prepare presentations alone or with teammates? Usually I ask someone to review my slides first. Fresh eyes notice unclear parts. That makes sense. Maybe I should do that too. Feel free to send yours to me if you want feedback. Really? That would help a lot. Of course, we all did that when we started. I appreciate that. Sometimes asking for help feels uncomfortable. It becomes easier once you realize everyone needed help at some point. More people take seats. Quiet conversations fill the room. Do meetings usually stay on schedule? Officially, yes. Realistically, not always. Good to know. I scheduled another task right after this. Maybe leave a small buffer next time. Discussions often run longer than planned. I am learning many practical things today. Experiences, mostly learning small details nobody writes down. Outside work, do people from the team spend time together? Sometimes we have informal lunches or short walks after work. I haven't joined yet. I wasn't sure if it was appropriate. You definitely should. That's where relationships really form. I'll try next time. The meeting organizer connects a laptop to the screen. My heart always beats faster right before meetings start. Mine too, even now. Really? Yes, the difference is I learned that nervous energy can actually help focus. I like that perspective. Think of it as readiness instead of anxiety. I'll try to remember that next week. The room grows quieter. I'm glad we talked before the meeting. I feel less tense now. Same here. Conversations help shift attention away from stress. It's funny, we met weeks ago but never really talked until today. That happens often in workplaces. Real conversations appear later. I'm glad this one finally happened. Me too. Meeting leader. Okay, everyone, let's begin. They both straighten their posture. Wish me luck for next week's presentation. You won't need luck, but you have it anyway. Thanks, Daniel. Anytime. The meeting begins as they open their notebooks and focus on the discussion. Dinner after a long day. Maya. I'm glad we chose this place. It looks cozy. Lucas. Yeah, and it's quieter than the restaurant across the street. Elena. I'm just happy to sit down. I've been walking all day. Waiter. Good evening. Table for 3? Yes, please. Follow me. They sit at the table. The menu looks huge. I never know what to choose in places like this. Same, I always need 10 minutes just to understand the options. Let's start with drinks first. That's easier. Can I get you something to drink? Could I have a glass of water, please? I'll have sparkling water. Do you have fresh lemonade? Yes, we do. Then I'll take that, please. Great, I'll be right back. Okay, useful phrase number 1. Could I have? I use that everywhere. Yeah, it sounds more polite than just saying I want. I used to say give me lemonade and it sounded terrible. Direct but not very polite. Another good one is I'll have. It's simple and natural. Right, like I'll have the chicken salad. Easy. They look at the menus. What does grilled mean again? It means cooked over fire or high heat, usually without much oil. Restaurants use that word a lot. Grilled chicken, grilled vegetable, grilled fish. Good to know. I always guessed from pictures. I'm trying to decide between pasta and soup. When I can't decide, I ask the waiter, what do you recommend? Oh, that's a good phrase. Say it again. What do you recommend? Okay, I'm definitely using that today. The waiter returns with drinks. Here you go, water, sparkling water, and lemonade. Are you ready to order, or do you need a few more minutes? We need a few more minutes, please. Of course. We need a few more minutes, another useful sentence. Yes, because I'm never ready when they first come back. Same, I panic and almost order randomly. I hate that moment when they stand there waiting. Me too, I suddenly forget how to read. Okay, I think I'm ready. Already? That was fast. I decided not to overthink. I'll get the pasta. I'm between two dishes again. Ask about ingredients. You can say what comes with this dish. That's useful. I never know how to ask that. Waiter comes back. Are you ready to order now? Yes, I'll have the mushroom pasta, please. I'll have the grilled chicken with vegetables. What do you recommend between the salmon and the vegetable bowl? The salmon is very popular today. Okay, I'll have the salmon then. Excellent choice. Would you like anything else? No, that's all for now, thank you. Perfect, your food will be ready shortly. Waiter leaves. I feel proud. That was the smoothest restaurant order I've ever made in English. You sounded completely natural. Asking questions helps conversations feel real. Another phrase I hear often is, can we get? Yes, like, can we get some bread, or can we get another menu? Or later, can we get the bill? Oh right, the bill, not the money paper. Yes, definitely not that. They relax and sip their drinks. Do you guys enjoy eating out often? I do, mostly because I like trying new foods. I enjoy the atmosphere more than the food sometimes. Restaurants are also great places to practice English naturally. True, you learn practical expressions, not textbook sentences. And you repeat the same phrases every time, so they stick. Food arrives. Here's the mushroom pasta, grilled chicken, and salmon. Enjoy your meal. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. That looks amazing. Mine smells really good too. Okay, another phrase people use. This looks delicious. Or smells great. Restaurants are full of small expressions like that. They start eating. Wow, this is really good. You can also say it tastes amazing. Or this is exactly what I wanted. I'm writing these down later. Food vocabulary is important. If something isn't good, you can politely say it's not really my taste. Much nicer than saying I don't like it. Good to know, polite honesty. After a while, I'm already full, the portions here are big. Same, I might not finish mine. Then you can ask for a takeaway box. Right, could I get this to go? Yes, very useful phrase. Waiter returns. How's everything? Everything is great, thank you. Really delicious. Yes, we loved it. I'm glad to hear that. Waiter leaves again. That question always comes, how is everything? And the safest answer is everything is great. Even if you're still chewing. They laugh. Okay, dessert or no dessert? I shouldn't, but maybe we can share one. Sharing dessert sounds perfect. Waiter returns. Could we see the dessert menu, please? Of course. Another phrase learned successfully. You're improving fast today. Later. I think we're ready for the bill. Yes, I can eat another bite. How do we ask politely again? Could we get the bill, please? Okay, my turn. Yes? Could we get the bill, please? Certainly, I'll bring it right away. Waiter leaves. That felt very natural. See, practice works quickly. Next time you'll order without thinking at all. Today was basically a language lesson with food. The best type of lesson. Definitely the most delicious one. At a hair salon. Anna. Hi, do I need an appointment or can I just walk in? Receptionist. Do you have a booking? No, I don't. I was hoping you might have time today. Let me check. Yes, we have a free spot in about 15 minutes. That's perfect, thank you. Anna sits. A stylist approaches. Liam. Hi, I'm Liam. I'll be taking care of you today. Nice to meet you. I'm Anna. So, what are we doing today? Honestly, I'm not completely sure. I just know I need a change. That's something I hear a lot. We can figure it out together. Good, because I never know how to explain what I want. No problem. Let's start with a simple question. How much length do you want to keep? I like to keep most of it, maybe just trim the ends. Okay, so just a trim. That means cutting a small amount to make the hair healthier. Yes, exactly. Do you want layers or do you prefer it all one length? Could you explain layers? I hear that word often. Sure, layers mean different hair lengths so the hair moves more naturally. Oh, I see. Then maybe light layers, nothing too dramatic. Got it, natural and simple. He gestures toward the chair. Please have a seat. Thank you. Another common question you'll hear in salons is, how would you like it styled? Meaning straight or curly? Exactly. Straight, wavy, curly, or just natural. Before we start, can I ask something? Of course. what's a polite way to say I don't want it too short? I always worry about that. A very useful phrase is just a little off, please. Just a little off. Okay, I like that. You can also say not too short or I'd like to keep the length. That sounds much safer than saying nothing and hoping for the best. They both laugh. I'll start by washing your hair. Is the water temperature okay? Yes, it's perfect. That's another phrase clients often use. That's perfect or that's fine. Good to know. I usually just say okay. After washing, they return to the mirror. Alright, I'm going to trim the ends first. Let me know if you feel uncomfortable at any point. Sure. Another question, how do I ask for advice politely? You can say, what would you recommend? Oh, that's useful everywhere, not only here. Exactly. For example, you could ask, what would you recommend for my hair type? Okay then, what would you recommend for my hair? I'd suggest light layers and a bit more shape around the front. It will frame your face better. Frame your face. I've heard that phrase before. It means the haircut follows the shape of your face. Sounds good. Let's try that. Great. He starts cutting. I always feel nervous during haircuts because I can see what's happening behind me. Totally understandable. If you ever want to check, you can say, can I see how it looks so far? That's a very helpful phrase. And what if I want something changed while you're cutting? You can politely say, could we go a little shorter here, or could we leave this part longer? That sounds respectful. Communication makes the result much better. I agree, silence is risky in hair salons. A few minutes pass. How does this length look to you? I like it, maybe just a little shorter in the front. Sure, just a little shorter. I'm proud, I actually explained what I wanted clearly this time. You did very well. Another phrase I hear is blow dry. What exactly does it mean? Blow dry means drying your hair using a hair dryer while styling it. Okay, then yes, I'd like a blow dry, please. Perfect. He begins styling. Do you usually style your hair at home? Not really, I never know which products to use. You can ask, what product should I use for the style? Let me try. What product should I use for the style? A light styling cream would work well for you. I'm learning so many useful phrases today. Real-life situations are the best language lessons. He finishes styling and turns the chair toward the mirror. Okay, take a look. What do you think? Oh, I love it! It looks natural but different. Glad you like it. If I didn't like something, what could I say politely? You could say, could we adjust this part a little? That sounds friendly and clear. Good, polite honesty again. Exactly. They walk toward the counter. How was everything today? Everything was great, thank you. She was very clear about what she wanted, that always helps. One last phrase. How do I ask when I should come back? You can say, when should I come back in for my next trim? Perfect. When should I come in for my next trim? Around 6 to 8 weeks would be ideal. Great, I'll remember that. Thanks for all the help today, both with my hair and my English. Anytime. See you next time, Anna. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more simple and relaxing English practice. See you next time.